Now, Danny, this is beautiful. Look at all these herbs over here, watercress, all the bok choy, the pak choy. This is fantastic. And one of the things about hydroponic that I like as a chef is there's no dirt in it.
Yeah, there's no soil, there's no foreign matter or anything that can get in there. So because of that, you know, everything that we do is good.
Nice and safe.
Yeah.
Now, everything's grown under the sunshine. I mean, I would have thought this is almost like a factory, but it's just a natural place to grow, isn't it?
You know, the greenhouse is more or less a protection tool. So, you know, we still want to give the plants everything that they want, you know, full sunlight, everything like that. And then at the same time, we can protect it.
And you're also producing your own power as well. I saw all the solar panels over on the sheds there.
We'd be almost off the grid at the moment.
Fantastic. So you're almost carbon free, aren't you?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Now, I'm going to take some of this watercress, some of the bok choy and the pak choy, and I'm going to cook you a great chicken stir fry. You're going to love this one with green leafy veg. I can't wait for you to try it.
Yeah, it sounds good.
I'm in Griffith, New South Wales, which is right smack bang in the middle of the Riverina. This is where some of Australia's best produce comes from. And have a look behind me. I've got some great produce. This is my mate Dan's place, Fresh Technique. He grows some of the best Asian greens in Australia. And that's what I've got in front of me. Now, what I'm going to make is a stir-fried chicken with Asian greens and mushrooms. Now, to start with, I'm going to marinate the chicken. I've sliced the chicken breast nice and thin. And to that, I'm going to add just a little bit of soy sauce. I'm using light soy sauce because I just want a little bit of flavour in the chicken. And I'm going to use some sesame oil and add just a tiny little bit. Always be careful with sesame oil because it is really, really strong. And I only want to add just a couple of drops. Now, what I do with a fork is just stir that around just really gently and make sure I get plenty of the sesame and the soy in every single little bit of that chicken. Now, in my pan, I've got it nice and hot. When you're doing a stir fry, you want it to happen really, really quickly. And a good hot pan with a heavy base is what you need. You could use a wok if you want to, but I find a fry pan like this is perfect. Now, I sort of need to get going here because I'm going to add some extra virgin olive oil. And you can see this pan is really hot because it's going to start smoking straight away. In goes my garlic, my ginger, my chili, and my onion. And I want to start frying that really quickly. I'm going to toss it around like this with my hand, but if you want to be really safe, just use a wooden spoon or a pair of tongs. Now, I'm going to get cracking with the mushrooms because it is quite hot and I don't want the onions and the garlic and the chili to burn. I'm going to throw in some shiitake mushrooms and some oyster mushrooms. With the oyster mushrooms, what I do is just tear them apart like this. You can throw them in whole if you want, but I find by tearing them apart, you keep a great shape. There we go. Toss that around, and that is really hot. It's caramelising beautifully. I've got these baby oyster mushrooms, and I'm just going to tear them apart as well. And I'm just going to put some enoki mushrooms in there. I'll pop these mushrooms aside, give it a little bit of a toss around like that, and just add a tiny bit more oil. You can use as much oil as you want. I'm using great extra virgin olive oil, so that's going to give it some taste. And of course, we need some salt in there. There we go. And some pepper. Look at that. Just toss that once, twice, and I'll get those mushrooms cooking nicely. This is pak choy, and you can tell because it's got the green stem. What I like to do is slice it nice and thin. That way you get some nice big pieces of the pak choy. Now, I've also got some choy sum here. And choy sum's great in soups, but in stir fries it's great as well. What I'm going to do is slice the stems on an angle and keep the green leaves nice and long. And the bok choy. I love the bok choy. I love the white stems that it's got. It gives it a great colour. And these I'm going to slice nice and long as well. This dish is all about the vegetables, so I want it to really shine. Now, my mushrooms are cooked. What I'm going to do is add a couple of pieces of chicken into the bottom of the pan. I don't want it to take too long to cook, so I've cut it nice and thin. Put it around there like that, and that will just take a minute or so to cook. What I'm going to do now is just give that a bit of a toss around, and you can see the pan is so hot, the chicken's already starting to cook. Now, what I'm going to do is throw my green veggies over the top of it. And what that does, it creates almost like a lid. The heat will go up through the bottom, cook the chicken, and by the time the chicken's cooked, the green veggies will be cooked on top. In the meantime, all I need to do is chop up some beautiful fresh coriander, some spring onion, and some watercress to go through it right at the end, and this will be a cracker of a dish. Now you can see the chicken's cooked already, and I'll just give that a little bit of a toss around. It really happens fast if you've got a good fry pan. Now I've got some coriander here. It's still alive. I've got some watercress, which I love. It gives it a great peppery sort of flavour, and I've got some spring onions. Just pop them straight in the top here. And the trick with these is just to wilt them a tiny little bit. That keeps all the nutrients in them. What I'm going to do is put some toasted sesame seeds on top. Just give that a little bit of a toss like that. You can see it comes together beautifully. And all I need to do is pop it on my plate. Now, if you can have a listen in the background, you'll hear that little trickle of water. That's all the lovely plants having a little drink. They're excited that I'm eating them, and I'll tell you what, this is a great looking dish. And see, because I've just wilted the vegetables just a little bit, there's no liquid coming out of them. It's staying nice and crisp and firm like that, and all I need to do is have a little taste. I'm going straight into the top here. I want the greens. Look at that. So delicious and so healthy. Dan, you're doing a great job here.